90 to downtown. The Stevenson, 32 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Ryan is 18 minutes from 95th to downtown. I-57, 16 minutes, I-80 to the Verge. Bishopwood, 15 with congestion between 103rd and the Ryan. And that's traffic. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. AM 560 Weather Center forecast with our AccuWeather meteorologist, Steve Williams.
Sunny to partly cloudy today, high 53. Clear skies for tonight, low 32. And then partly sunny for tomorrow and Friday. High tomorrow 42, Friday's high 45. AccuWeather's Minutecast has expanded to 4 hours. Download the new app today. I'm Steve Williams on AM 560, The Answer.
36 degrees officially at O'Hare. Next news at 7:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
From the Matrix Home Solutions studios, this is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560, The Answer.
Listen to AM 560, The Answer, online at 560theanswer.com, on the AM 560 mobile app, on your Alexa-powered smart speaker, on TuneIn, iHeart, and radio.com. This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. We've talked about this for years, story after story after story. And at some point, the plural of anecdotes isn't data, but it provides an insight into directionally what's happening in an institution. Talking about academia here, just in the last week, high-profile cases, and of course they represent just a sampling of what's happening. Jody Shaw, a Smith College graduate, drummed out of Smith, essentially. She went back to work there as an administrator. Drummed out of Smith because she has to spend all her time feeling bad about her whiteness and watching herself and others be subjected to false claims of racism on campus. We talked yesterday about a Princeton math professor who grew up under Ceausescu's communism in Romania, coming to the realization that STEM, so including his discipline, is no longer insulated from political ideology. And just coming to this recently, stunningly, but saying in his piece, in his op-ed that was posted at Barry Weiss's Substack page, that woke ideology is more of a threat to the academy, or is more really of a threat to civilization generally, than old-style Soviet communism. What a statement that is. If that doesn't send a chill down your spine, then you're unconscious from the neck up. We have John McWhorter, noted linguistics professor from Columbia University, staying in the Ivy League, having to explain why there's no such thing as white math, and it is racist to suggest that black kids can't do math with precision, which is essentially the zeitgeist of pedagogy at the K through 12 and post-secondary level.
I'd be so offended.
So the Romanian professor from Princeton, math professor there, and John McWhorter are two sides of the same coin, arguing against the pernicious ideology that undermines the quality of instruction for kids pre-K through post-secondary. It is comprehensive. This is the gestalt of education in America today. And it continues almost unabated. For quantifying, for more on actually quantifying just how far gone higher education is, perhaps the data we need to continue to beat the drum to decouple the BA from employment opportunities, as we talked about last week per Tony Esselin's piece, another guy who has spent his entire adult life in academia. We're pleased to be joined again by Eric Kauffman. He is a poli-sci professor at Birk Beck College at the University of London, and he is always at the ready with interesting survey information. Eric, thanks for joining us again. Appreciate it.
Great to be here, Dan.
So tell us about this new report that you did for the Center for the Study of Partisanship and Ideology about the state of the state of thought in higher education in the West.
Yeah, so really this is, and some of you may have seen the Wall Street Journal piece that I did, which links to that new report. This is a sort of large report, 200 pages, but it's the largest data-based report on cancel culture and political discrimination in academia, focusing on the U.S. but also Canada and Britain. And really, all the data and the surveys are telling the same story. Because so often, when you bring up anecdotes like the one that you just did, opponents will say, "Oh well, that's just a few incidents, and look, there are 500,000 people working in higher ed, and that doesn't mean anything." So it's very important, I think, to have this data. And what this shows is the high-profile stuff, that the Jody Smiths of this world, that is the tip of the iceberg. That's what you see. What you don't see is actually a lot more important. And these are the chilling effects, the self-censorship. Just to give you a couple of numbers from the report, 7 in 10 conservative academics in the American universities that we surveyed said they self-censor in their teaching, research, or discussions.
And by the way, just sorry to interrupt, but 7 out of 10, you surveyed all 10 conservatives in academia. Congratulations.
Well, we didn't get many conservatives, but we did oversample a little bit with a sample from the National Association of Scholars, which is mainly conservative, but also a PhD student. So, I mean, we're getting the same kind of story here, high self-censorship. In Britain, it's 5 in 10. Canada, it's somewhere in the middle. And so, yeah, the biggest problem is not, I mean, it is a problem that people are being no platform from speaking, but more than that, it's this chill effect, which means that conservatives are not asking certain questions because they know that they're not going to get published, they're not going to get hired, they're not going to get promoted, and we have data on the number of academics that would discriminate against a right-leaning grant application or promotion application, and another survey would be, or another question we asked was whether people would hire a known Trump supporter. 4 in 10 academics that we surveyed in the U.S. would not hire, were revealed not to hire a known Trump supporter. In Britain, it was about 1 in 3 wouldn't hire a known Brexit supporter. So we've got high levels of political discrimination. It's not the majority of academics, but it's close to. It's getting towards half. And in that kind of a climate of political discrimination, people are just going to self-censor to progress their careers and so that they can get along with their fellow colleagues. So it's not only the university punishing people, which is a huge problem, but it's also this sort of discrimination that goes on amongst academics.
Yeah, and I wonder if those numbers actually understate the pervasiveness of it, because obviously you're talking about people who are educated, and they're supposed to take the position that no, somebody's vote in a particular election shouldn't inform my hiring decision. So I know what the right answer is rather than my honest position. I just wonder, what the delta is there.
Well, I actually think we use something called a list experiment, which gets at this very indirectly, and I think does give the correct number. So I do think that 4 in 10 is really about what it actually is. So I guess you could say on the bottle half full that the 6 in 10 wouldn't discriminate against a known Trump supporter. That is good. I mean, there are some positive notes. One is that only 1 in 10 academics would tend to support firing a staff member who did controversial research on issues around race and gender. So there actually is only about 10% support for canceling controversial professors. But what's a bit disturbing is that the youngest academics under age 30 are twice as likely to support these cancellation campaigns as those over 50.
Yeah, see, this is where it's going to, is one of the things that, conservatives represent such a small fraction of academics to begin with. And as they, frankly, die off, who is replacing them? It's not going to be conservatives. This is the point that Peter Wood at National Association of Scholars and others have made, is that all the gatekeepers now are left, and so they're looking to hire fellow travelers in all of these disciplines, not hire those who have divergent opinions, and so the universe of dissent continues to shrink with each passing generation, with each passing hire.
Yeah, I think that's right, and there have been a number of studies. Mitchell Langbert also did a study which show in the social sciences and humanities now in the top 100 U.S. universities, it's something on the order of 12 on the left for everyone on the right. I got 14-1 in my U.S. and Canadian numbers. And what happens actually, I also show in the report that at the master's level, if you go before you start a PhD, conservative master students are much more likely to say their views wouldn't fit in academia. So they're being repelled already at the master's level from an academic career. It's not because the academic career doesn't pay well. And so you're seeing this self-reproducing system of a political monoculture with maybe 5% conservative that is sort of putting off prospective conservatives from going into the profession. So you're self-reproducing a kind of monoculture. And it's not just that that's unjust and illiberal, but it's also leading to a damage to the entire scientific project. So, we know low viewpoint diversity means certain questions don't get asked, certain arguments are never challenged, and so now we've started to see things like the replication crisis in psychology, where this groupthink has led many established findings to now be shown to be unreliable, because people just accept certain findings so readily when they accord with their prior views. And so the academy is not functioning properly in these disciplines.
Well, with those conservatives, a few conservative academics out there, do they self-censor in their teachings?
Yeah, there was a study that I think it was looking at legal scholars that showed that coders couldn't, or people who were asked to judge people's output couldn't figure out who the conservatives were, whereas they could figure out who the liberals were, because the liberals were open in their writing about their views. Conservatives kept their views to themselves, or else they took on very technical subjects that were not controversial. So I don't think conservatives are going to go to zero. They're going to remain somewhere in the 5 to 10% perhaps, but they're going to have to be under deep cover for most of their careers, I think.
So it might as well be zero. Another interesting data point from your survey research. Those who are comfortable sitting with fill in the blank, comfortable sitting with a Trump voting colleague, 41% would be comfortable sitting with a Trump voting colleague. So 6 in 10 would not. But even more uncomfortable than sitting with somebody who voted for Trump is the issue of gender politics. Right.
So somebody who is opposed to the idea of biological men entering a women's shelter because they self-identify as a woman. So that kind of gender-critical feminist, we had only 28% of academics in the U.S. and in Canada saying they'd be comfortable sitting next to such a person. So that, I think.
I just need to stop there. 1 in 4 academics, higher education, 1 in 4 gatekeepers to the job market, effectively. 1 in 4 of those are not comfortable sitting with someone who believes that a man is a man and a woman is a woman, effectively based on biology. Only 1 in 4 would be comfortable sitting with someone who believes that.
Effectively, yes, and it's the problem here is now, and what we've also seen, at least in Britain on the data we have here, is that these gender-critical feminists who make this argument about biological men not entering women's only spaces are the ones who are no platform the most, who face the most. Some of them have to go around with bodyguards. So yeah, this is an incredibly intolerant climate.
I'm stunned by this, and I follow this closely. So for people who pay passing attention to this, it has to be shocking, and it has to, I would think, make parents around the country and the Western world question whether or not they should be sending their kids to colleges and universities, most of them at least around the countries.
Well, I think, I mean, I think, as we saw in the survey data, what you have is only about 10% of academics are actually pro-cancel, but half of them are sort of torn between their kind of progressive commitments and their more liberal leanings, and so they're not willing to stand up to the cancelers, and that's kind of almost a bigger problem. It creates a permissive environment for these activists to function and to get their way. And ultimately, the only way this is tackled is going to be through external intervention. The university cannot, in my view, reform itself.
He is Eric Kauffman, a professor of politics at Birk, Beck College, University of London, board member at the Center for the Study of Partisanship and Ideology. Do check out his report, or at least his op-ed in the Wall Street Journal, which I'll tweet out. Professor Kauffman, thanks for joining us again. Appreciate it.
Thanks so much, Dan. Bye-bye.
Thank you. And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
Connect with Dan and Amy on the AM 560 The Answer mobile app. Just text the word app to 64636 to download the app today.
Smoke fumes and dust are a nuisance your business can do without, causing health hazards for employees and possible EPA problems for your company. If you need help cleaning up these problems, call a company that has the expertise and capability to help.
Hi, I'm Dave Van Camp, president of Vans Industrial. I've got 43 years of personal experience in dealing with smoke fumes and dust emissions, and I can help you eliminate these problems from your plant. Contact Vans for a no-cost evaluation of your system, and we will size equipment, design hoods and ductwork for a complete turnkey solution.
Vans uses only the best and safest union-trained mechanics insured at the highest levels to perform the job right. Call 833-VANS-IND to schedule your ventilation inspection today. That's 833-VANS-IND. Visit vansindustrial.com on the web. That's VANSindustrial.com. Vans Industrial, working safe since 1964.
Warmer weather is coming soon, hopefully, and you'll soon be able to go out again. So it's time to lose those pandemic pounds, and you can do it by spring, since it only takes 40 days to lose a contractually guaranteed 20 to 40 plus pounds with NJ Diet. NJ Diet's program starts with bioenergetically personalized supplements based on your hair, saliva, and blood work. NJ Diet then uses DNA testing to create your ideal diet plan and workout regimen to help you keep it off for the rest of your life. Not sure if you can do it alone? NJ Diet is with you every step of the way. You're fully monitored to make sure you are burning fat, not just losing water. You'll also get the doctor's personal email and phone number. NJ Diet is available in Chicago and nationwide with live online video consultations. So call them today. 855-5NJ-DIET is the number. That's 855-5NJ-DIET. Or go to njdiet.com and lose the weight for good. That's njdiet.com.
If you're self-employed and purchase your own health insurance, I have some good news. From now until May 15th, you cannot be denied coverage due to a pre-existing condition, and depending on your income, you may find a more affordable plan, especially if you're paying high COBRA premiums. And this year, you can finally once again purchase a multi-state PPO policy, which includes access to our teaching hospitals in Chicago. Employers who provide small group coverage also have new options, and so do seniors looking for Medicare supplement coverage. Call me. I can help.
If you're tired of calling a bureaucrat at an 800 number to help you navigate Obamacare, then you need a local expert on your side. Your own health insurance mentor, C. Stephen Tucker from healthinsurancementors.com, is someone I know and trust. He's a 25-year licensed broker who's been educating our listeners for 10 years. Tell them how they can get in touch with you, Steve.
Thanks, Dad. They can visit healthinsurancementors.com or call me directly at 630-674-1551. That's 630-674-1551.
All right. Have you done it yet? Be proactive. Take advantage of a product that's out there that I use because it helps boost my immune system. Of course, I'm talking about Balance of Nature, 6 capsules a day. You can take 3 in the morning, 3 at night, or during the day. But with those 6 capsules, think about it. 10 servings of 31 different fruits and veggies. Fruits and veggies you've probably never heard of. And you definitely don't want to buy because guess what? 70% of what you buy ends up in the landfill. So do what I did and what millions, well, hundreds of thousands of people are doing, and that's buying Balance of Nature. Right now,